A very good morning to you. This is your breakfast primetime news bulletin coming to you live on MTV Sports with News First. I'm Shahid Rangpati. Here are headlines for this morning. Government rejects fuel subsidy for bus owners. Environmental organizations charge that lands in the north and east are distributed in an ad hoc manner. Coffin carrying the remains of Hugo Chavez emerges from military hospital. Now for a comprehensive look at those stories, the environment organizations collective charges that steps are being taken to distribute land in an illegal manner. Speaking at a media briefing yesterday, its members stated that this would have a severe impact on the wildlife and flora and fauna in these areas.
Let's first take a look at the forest areas in the Mullaitivu district as well as those protected areas in the Wedithalathivu Mullaitivu area. We all know that it is the wildlife department that is in charge of these areas. 3 years have not even gone after this department took over, and there are plans to move out certain plots of land out of the jurisdiction of this forest area. People got onto the streets in Puttalam yesterday protesting against the human-elephant conflict and more importantly the impact caused by elephants to their lives. These people should be informed that it is not the wildlife department that is in charge of distributing land and that they should be protesting outside the houses of those ministers who have been distributing land at their discretion if they are to have an impact in their protests.
Also making headlines this morning, the All Island Private Bus Association's collective says that the government has rejected a fuel subsidy for bus owners. Its chairman Gyamunu Wijeyaratne said that attention has now been focused to increase bus fares in the wake of this development.
Steps weren't taken by the private transport sector to provide a positive response to the request we made. There will be a discussion with the relevant officials including the Minister of Private Transport and officials from the Ministry of Finance. However, Minister of Private Transport C.B. Ratnayaka said in Parliament yesterday that a price hike in bus fares will occur again in July this year. The Minister noted that although discussions took place recently with the Bus Owners Association, no decision was made to increase the bus fares. The All Island Bus Union condemns the statement made by the Minister. I condemn the stance taken by the government because this is not in keeping with what was agreed upon in relation to the annual revision of bus fares which took place around February last year.
2 youths who were residents of the Poruwadande area in Horana died in an accident that involved a motorbike and a bus. The collision between the two vehicles occurred in the Bulugoda area in Horana. Our correspondent said that the bus which was involved in the accident was transporting workers of a private garment factory at the time of the incident. The victims have been identified as two relatives. Let's now take a look at today's exchange rates. On to sports news, the 134th Battle of the Blues between St. Thomas's College Mount Lavinia and Royal College Colombo will commence today. The three-day match will be played at the SSC grounds. Now, St. Thomas's College is captained by Javed Bongzo. Javed has scored 850 runs in 14 matches, inclusive of 2 centuries this season. Meanwhile, the Royalists will be captained by Devin Padmanathan. Padmanathan has scored 235 runs in 14 matches this season. Padmanathan, who has excelled in his spin bowling, has clinched 47 wickets. Both teams have a lineup of 7 batsmen inclusive of 3 spinners and 3 pacemen. The Royalists also have 2 all-rounders. The Thormians have won 34 big match encounters, while the Royalists have won 33. Now on to football news. Argentine striker Ezequiel Lavezzi salvaged a 1-all home draw for Paris Saint-Germain, who overcame Valencia 3-2 on aggregate to reach the quarter-finals of the Champions League for the first time in 18 years.
After a first-half short on entertainment, Valencia made the tie interesting when Brazilian journalists put the Spaniards ahead with a superb 25-meter strike on 55 minutes. PSG, without suspended top scorer Zlatan Ibrahimovic, who was sent off late in the first leg, equalized 11 minutes later when Lavezzi scored at the second attempt after his initial shot was parried back to him by keeper Vicente Gaeta. The League One leaders, who have not lost their Parc des Princes home in 23 European matches since 2006, last played in the last eights of the Europe's Premier Club competition in 1995 when they reached the semi-finals. Former England captain David Beckham, who signed a short-term deal with PSG in January, will have to wait to make his first Champions League appearance since 2010, with AC Milan and Ancelotti opted to leave the midfield on the bench.
On to more sports news, the organizers of Tokyo's 2020 Games bid told the International Olympic Committee yesterday that Japan's transport system would be able to cope with any contingency during an Olympic Games.
An IOC team led by the chairman and IOC Vice President Craig Reedy was on the third day of inspection of Tokyo's bid and had a look around the proposed wrestling, fencing and weightlifting venues. They were also welcomed by Japan's London 2012 Olympic medalist, including fencing silver medalist Yuki Ota, wrestling gold medalist Hitomi Obara and men's wrestling gold medalist Tatsuhiro Yonemitsu. One of the biggest concerns with the earthquake-prone country is the issue of safety and evacuation of such a large number of residents and visitors in the capital city, particularly at its seaside venues, which are connected with the main metropoles of Tokyo by bridges and a limited amount of public transport. The evaluation team will announce their preliminary assessment of Tokyo's bid today. One of Tokyo's strengths is the fact that many of its venues are already built. Tokyo planners have also been emphasizing on the compactness of its plan, with 80% of the venues located within an 8-kilometer radius of the Olympic village. Tokyo is up against rival bids from Istanbul and Madrid. A final decision on the host city of the 2020 Olympic Games will be made in Buenos Aires in September.
Well, that wraps up Breakfast Prime Time News. As always, it was a pleasure having you here with us. For News First, I'm Shahan Jurampati. Have a wonderful day ahead of you. Goodbye and take care.